Once upon a time, in a cheerful town called Golden Hill, where the birds sang along with the children every morning, stood the most colorful building of all. It was called Bright Sparks Primary School. In this school worked the sweetest, most smiling teacher in the world, Miss Meadows. Miss Meadows' hair shone like the spring sun, and her dresses always smelled of fresh flowers. When she walked into the classroom and said, "Good morning, my little sparks," even the sleepiest student would wake up and smile instantly. In Miss Meadows' class, there were 3 best friends. First, there was Archie. Archie was the class fixer. He always carried a toy screwdriver or a piece of string in his pocket. Second, there was Daisy. Daisy was the class artist. Her fingers always had a smudge of paint on them. Third, there was Freddie. Freddie loved nature and knew the name of every bug in the garden. One Monday morning, when the children walked into the classroom, there was a strange silence. Miss Meadows' desk was empty. There was no colourful "hello" written on the blackboard in chalk. The head teacher, Mrs. Higgins, popped her head around the door. Her face looked a little sad. "Children," she said, "Miss Meadows won't be coming in today. She has fallen ill. She has caught a nasty cold and needs to rest at home." A loud "ah" echoed around the classroom. Archie, Daisy, and Freddie looked at each other. Without Miss Meadows, the school didn't look colourful at all. It was as if the colours of the rainbow had faded. At playtime, the 3 friends sat under the big oak tree in the playground. Daisy said, "Miss Meadows must be lonely and sad at home. We must do something to make her better." Freddie, examining a leaf, said, "My mum always makes me soup when I'm poorly. Hot soup spreads warmth through your body and chases the germs away." Archie snapped his fingers excitedly. "I've got it. Let's make her the strongest soup in the world. But not just ordinary soup. It must be a super healing soup." Daisy closed her eyes and imagined. "Do you know what we should put in it? Not just vegetables. We must put magic in it. We must put rainbow dust inside." "And love," added Freddie. "The most important ingredient is love." The children made a plan immediately and ran to the school kitchen to see the cook, Mrs. Crumble. Mrs. Crumble greeted them wearing her big white hat and flowery apron. "Hello, little ones. Are your tummies rumbling?" "No," said Archie. "Miss Meadows is ill. We want to make her a special soup with rainbow dust and love inside. Will you help us?" Mrs. Crumble smiled. "That is a splendid idea. Come on then, let's gather the ingredients for rainbow soup. But first, we must wash our hands. Splish splash. Scrub scrub." Hands were washed, and tiny aprons were put on. Gathering the rainbow, Mrs. Crumble said, "We need a vegetable of every color for rainbow soup." The children went out to the school vegetable patch. They carried wicker baskets. Red, Daisy went to the tomatoes. Red, to bring color back to Miss Meadows' cheeks, she said, popping 3 bright red tomatoes into the basket. Orange, Archie pulled carrots from under the soil. Orange, to give her energy, he said. The carrots made a crunch, crunch sound. Yellow, Freddie went to the sweet corn and potatoes. Yellow, to warm her up like the sun, he said, adding the yellow corn kernels. Green, together, they picked fresh peas and spinach. Green, to make her strong. After gathering the ingredients, they returned to the kitchen. Mrs. Crumble chopped the vegetables, chop, 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 and the children dropped them into the big pot, plop, plop, plop. Water was added, and the stove was lit. The pot began to warm up. Bubble, bubble, bubble. Delicious smells filled the kitchen. The magic ingredients. While the soup was cooking, Daisy said, "Mrs. Crumble, we haven't put the rainbow dust in yet." Mrs. Crumble took a special jar from the cupboard. Inside were colourful dried herbs and spices, turmeric, paprika, oregano. "Here we are," said Mrs. Crumble. "These are nature's magic dusts. A bit of yellow, a bit of red, a bit of green dust." As Archie, Daisy, and Freddie sprinkled the spices into the pot, they all shouted together, "Rainbow dust, make Miss Meadows better." The dust sparkled and melted into the soup. "Now for the most important ingredient," said Freddie. "Love?" "How do we put love in?" asked Archie. "You can't hold love in your hand." Daisy smiled. "We will close our eyes, think about how much we love Miss Meadows, and blow that love from our hearts into the pot." The 3 friends held hands around the pot. They thought about Miss Meadows reading them stories, helping them up when they fell, and giving them hugs. Their hearts felt warm and fuzzy. Then, they took a deep breath and blew towards the pot, whoosh. Even Mrs. Crumble could have sworn she saw the steam rising from the pot turn a brighter, shimmery color at that moment. The delivery. When the soup was ready, Mrs. Crumble poured it into a nice flask. The head teacher, Mrs. Higgins, took the children to Miss Meadows' cute little cottage just next to the school. Archie knocked on the door. Knock. 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 A tired voice came from inside. "Who is it?" "It's us, Miss Meadows. Your little sparks." The door opened. Miss Meadows appeared, wrapped in a thick blanket with a red handkerchief on her nose. Her face was pale, but her eyes lit up when she saw the children. "Goodness me! Archie, Daisy, Freddie. What a lovely surprise." Freddie held out the flask proudly. "We made you soup, miss. But it's not ordinary soup." Daisy jumped in. "It has red, orange, yellow, and green in it." Archie added. "And rainbow dust." And most importantly, they all said together, "We blew our love into it." Miss Meadows was very touched. A tear of happiness rolled down her cheek. "Oh, thank you, my children. That is the best recipe I have ever heard." Miss Meadows took a spoonful of the soup right there on the porch bench. As the warm soup went down her throat, the vitamins from the vegetables, the healing from the spices, and the pure love from the children spread through her body. Another spoonful. And another. Color returned to Miss Meadows' pale cheeks, just like the red of the tomato. Her cold hands warmed up, just like the yellow of the corn. Her weak arms felt strong, just like the green of the spinach. Miss Meadows took a deep breath. "Incredible," she said. "My nose is clear. My throat feels soft. I feel well enough to dance." The children jumped with joy. "Hooray!" The rainbow dust worked. Happy ending. The next morning, when the bell rang at Bright Sparks Primary School, the classroom door swung wide open. In walked Miss Meadows, looking as bright, energetic, and happy as ever. "Good morning, my little sparks." "And good morning, my little doctors." Archie, Daisy, and Freddie looked at each other and grinned. That day they learned something special. Medicine makes people better, but a bowl of soup made with love can create miracles. And from that day on, whenever anyone sneezed at school, that magical smell would rise from Mrs. Crumble's kitchen immediately, the smell of rainbow dust and love. The end.